Hi there, my name is Gabriel Morris. I'm currently here in Varanasi, India, where I'm on the rooftop of my guest house on about the 6th or 7th floor with a spectacular scene of the other buildings and the maze of alleys of Varanasi stretching off in every direction. At the end of this video here, then I will grab the camera and give you a panorama of the scene here, including the Ganges River, which is not far away. I'm on an extended trip throughout Asia. I've been traveling for almost 4 months now, and so far have been to Indonesia, Thailand, Myanmar, Laos, Nepal, where I just went trekking in the Himalaya Mountains, and then just arrived in India about a week ago. I am going to be continuing my travels from here throughout India, and then I'm not sure where else, but if you'd like to follow along with my travels here, then feel free to subscribe to my channel here, Gabriel Traveler, and there will be lots more videos coming up of the various sights and sounds and experiences that I have throughout the course of my travels. So this video is a collection of assorted little budget travel tips that I jotted down that I thought that I would pass on for people to make use of. 10 budget travel tips here. So number one is always arrive early for flights, buses, and trains, etc. You don't want to be in your taxi cab looking at your clock, realizing that you have just enough time to get to your plane if you're lucky, if everything goes as planned, because things oftentimes do not go as planned. You never know when there's going to be a traffic jam, a thunderstorm, an accident, a breakdown, protests, riots, an earthquake. Who knows what's going to happen. So it's better to give yourself at least an extra hour or so to get to your destination when you're talking about catching a flight that if you miss, you're going to be out hundreds of dollars. Number two, expect to spend more than you expect to spend. Here in India, you can travel for dirt cheap. I have a couple of videos on YouTube in which I document my expenses throughout the day and show that you can travel for $10 a day for all of your expenses. My hotel room currently here in this hotel is $4. However, there are always unexpected expenses. You don't want to be nitpicking every single rupee. You want to be able to buy that sweet if you want to, or get that shirt that you really like, and there will be unexpected things that come up. So you always want to budget more than just the bare minimum that you think you can get by on. So just a general thing to keep in mind, because usually you will spend more than you expected. If you need a backpack, clothes, and other items before you come on your trip, before you get started on your trip, if you're traveling somewhere cheap, such as Asia, then consider buying some of those items once you get to the country, because it is so much cheaper here. You can find almost anything that you might be looking for, other than a few specific items. Obviously your medications, things like voltage converters or socket adapters for the plugs, or your charger for the battery for your camera or for your phone, etc. Those kinds of things you'd want to definitely have beforehand. But clothes, backpacks, a journal, pens, and stuff like that, you can get in the country you're going to. The markets are huge, they're vast, you can find a wide assortment of pretty much everything, and you're going to spend a heck of a lot less money. You might spend 10 to 20% of what you would spend on these same items back in the West, in the US or Europe or elsewhere. Number four is if you're going to bring a laptop, consider getting a small size laptop. I have a Acer Aspire 1, and it is about the size of this journal here. Slightly larger, slightly thicker, but almost this exact size, and then it opens up so the screen is about the same size here. You get used to the small screen, and it is so much more convenient to have something that small that you can just stuff right into your day pack if you're going walking around for the day and think you might stop into an internet cafe and need to use the wireless there or something along those lines. Saves weight and saves space and general hassle. Number five here is, as I just mentioned just a minute ago, is the socket adapter. So I have one right here. The socket adapter allows your electronic devices to fit into the sockets in other places around the world. There are an assortment of different types of electrical sockets in different parts of the world. You can buy these separate adapters separately, in which case you would need a small bag of 5 or 6 or 7 of these different things. Or you can get what is called a universal, this one's a travel universal adapter. I think I got it on Amazon. This is a common one that you see around. And it's a pretty cool little contraption that allows you to plug into any electrical socket anywhere around the world and allows any type of socket to plug into it. So you have a weird looking plug there that allows all different types of sockets to go into it, and then you have an assortment of different, looks like just 3 different plugs here. So this is for India and elsewhere in Asia and I believe Europe, and then here you have one for the United States and Canada, and then this one here is for the UK and Spain. So if you're going to be bringing a laptop, needing to charge a phone or a camera, a beard trimmer, then you're going to need one of these things. So tip number 6 is kind of an obvious one, but just a little reminder here that before you hop on a flight, make sure you don't have any items in your carry-on luggage that you're going to take onto the plane that is prohibited. I once went through the security check and I had forgotten to take my pocket knife out of my day pack and put it in my checked luggage, and my checked luggage had already been checked and was gone, so I couldn't go back and put it in there, and so I was left in a little bit of a quandary. I lucked out in that there was a post office in the airport, and so I was able to go mail my pocket knife back to myself. But you want to make sure you don't have knives, lighters, liquids, gels, big bottles of shampoo, etc. in your carry-on luggage, because they will nab those out of there and you may not have a way of getting it back. Number 7 is always make sure that you have some major currency on you while you're traveling. So carry with you $100, $200 of US dollars, Canadian dollars, euros, British pounds, etc. Something that is easily changeable, so that you don't end up in a situation where you realize that your ATM card isn't working for some reason or another. You have only 100 rupees left, or a couple bucks, and you have no access to cash. So just make sure that you always have some major currency on you. Also, it is very useful for crossing borders. Oftentimes, if you're getting a visa on arrival, then they will expect you to pay in a major currency. Tip number 8 is to have a little bag of useful little items that you stuff into your day pack. I always bring a day pack in addition to my larger backpack for just walking around during the day, visiting sites, going hiking, etc. Have a little handy bag of assorted useful things that you stuff inside that day pack, many of which you probably won't use regularly, but might be handy things that you will realize you can make use of at some point. So I have my little handy bag of things here, so I'll show you what I have inside it. Here I have a photocopy of my passport. I usually leave my passport in my room so that it's locked away there, just in case your bag gets stolen or something. But you want to have a copy of your passport on you, just so you have some ID on you in case something happens to you. And also sometimes you get questioned by police in certain countries around the world, and they will want to see some kind of an ID. Extra toilet paper. India and many other places in Asia do not provide toilet paper in the bathrooms. If you got to go in the middle of the day and you're away from your room, then you want to have some handy. Soy sauce. This is actually Bragg's liquid aminos. Just a little extra something to squirt on your fried rice or your curry or your noodles or whatever, in case it happens to be a little bland. It's come in handy quite a few times. Here is the aforementioned pocket knife that I ended up having to mail back to me. This is the same one. That was like 7 or 8 years ago, and I still have it. It is actually a Leatherman tool that has a pocket knife and various other things on it that could come in handy. A headlamp or flashlight, just in case you end up staying late and get stuck wandering back through a dark alley late at night. A little spoon, just because it's small and you never know, might come in handy. This is really an essential one that a lot of people don't think of, which is needle, thread, and some collapsible scissors. And in case a strap on your backpack breaks, your clothes start coming apart, who knows, then this will really save you some hassle. Fingernail clippers, just because you might be sitting in a train station somewhere, realize your fingernails are a little bit too long, and you need something to do anyway, so then you got them handy to cut your fingernails. Lighter, just in case. Tip number 9 is don't eat sweets before you take a long bus ride, especially somewhere like India or elsewhere in Asia where the roads are not great and you're going to get jostled around a lot. Sweets in your stomach start to feel funky pretty quick. Before you hop on a bus, eat a solid, savory meal, an omelet for breakfast, fried rice, noodles, something along those lines that will sit well in your stomach and that isn't going to disturb you. Also, in the same vein, don't drink a lot of liquids because many of the buses in this part of the world do not have bathrooms on them and may only stop every 3 or 4 hours for bathroom breaks. And finally, tip number 10 here is before you leave a taxi, a bus, a train, a plane, somewhere you've been sitting having lunch for the afternoon, look behind you and make sure you didn't leave something behind. So far on this trip, I have lost my favorite pair of sunglasses in a taxi in Indonesia. My hat that I really liked, I'm not even sure exactly where I lost that, somewhere in Thailand. I left a shirt somewhere, and I think there were a couple of other items. So just double check that quick glance behind you can save you some money and some hassle trying to find some little item that you really like. So that's the end of my list of budget travel tips here. I'm now going to grab the camera as promised and show you the scene here in Varanasi. This neighborhood is really an interesting maze of little tiny alleys just stretching off in every direction here. The Ganges River, as you can see, is off in the distance there. There's a bridge going over it there, and then you can see another section of it here, and then the floodplain of the Ganges stretching off that way. It's a pleasant day here in March 1st. It was raining the last couple of days, and then it sunnied up today and warmed up a bit. Pretty awesome scene here. It's a very mellow and peaceful, especially for India, neighborhood here with lots of guest houses, restaurants, various shops and things. You can get everything you need in the course of just a couple blocks here. I've been here about a week and I haven't left this area other than once to go find an ATM machine. So for India, it's a nice, peaceful spot and also very interesting. All the things going on the Ganges River, the Hindus bathing, doing laundry, doing puja ceremonies, music, little shrines here and there. Pretty cool spot. Classic India. All right, thanks a lot for watching. Take care. Happy trails.